I've polished the models for my scene. Here in Substance Painter, here is my broken arch. Here is my full arch. Here is my column piece. Here is the broken wall. And here is my full wall. So what I did with these on the polish was I made a seamless texture of bricks, a different seamless texture, and I went into Substance Sampler and did some modifications, some destruction, some moss, and then applied it to all of these wall pieces. So here with my tiki, I took my UV from Photoshop and I implemented it into Substance Painter or Substance Sampler, and then applied it to this texture here in Substance Painter. Here with this wood tiki, I did the same thing. I put the UV template that I made in Photoshop into Substance Sampler and then imported it here into Substance Painter. But what I did here, I added this veined beached texture to get a little bit more striation in the woodwork, where it wasn't there before. Here it is now. So little changes like that. And it also makes the wood look more realistic than it did before. With the shark tooth here, I did the same thing. I imported the texture, UV texture from Photoshop into Sampler, and then made it material and put it here in Painter to give it more realistic. And I also added this bone texture, so that's what it looks like with the bone. That's what it looks like without, to give it more of an old weathery look. And here again with my shark tooth weapon, I did the same thing as I had done with the other couple of things. Here I took the UV from Photoshop and I implemented it into Sampler and then imported it into Painter and put it right on top of this little thing here. Lined it up perfectly, and then I went in and I added this wood hull a material onto it too. So with that wood hull material, it gives it again a little more weathered look, a little more used. So it gives it those scuff marks like it was actually being used. And what's nice is the scuff marks come out on the teeth too, where obviously they would get chipped if they were getting used this way. Here with the statue, I did the statue differently than originally. I made the seamless texture into a material and put it in here. It's just started with the base material, and then I added some grunge. I added some more grunge. I added some cracks, some striations, some moss here. It's a little bit of overgrowth in the shoulders and a little on the head. And here is the palm tree. Once again, I made the wood bark texture of seamless texture, put it into sampler and exported it into painter. For the leaves, I did the same thing, but I used an image of a tropical leaf and made it a material in sampler and put it here in painter. And then affixed all of the little pieces onto the UV. Here is my plant number 1, made with a photo that was turned into a material in sampler and imported into painter. So in that case, I kind of painted it onto the limbs here instead of affixing it to the UV sheet, which is kind of a beautiful mess. I painted directly onto it here, using the image like a brush. Alright, this plant here, plant 2, I used one of the brushes that was standard in Substance Painter, or not standard, but it was one that I downloaded for free. So in that case, I painted the limbs of the branches here, or the leaves of the plant here. I painted them on this side to try to get that texture even there, to make it look like it was veining down the plant, because the brush was not actually big enough. It was wide enough to cover the leaf, but it wasn't long enough to cover the leaf. So it was interesting, but it worked out really nice, in my opinion. Right, here's my grassy ground texture, seamless texture. Here is my grassy dirt texture. Here is the rocky ground. Here's the gray stone material. Here's the redstone. Alright, here is the old brick. This was the first texture I started with on the walls before I decided to change it in sampler. In Substance Painter I decided to change it to the other material, which I'll show in just a minute. So there's the original one. Here is an old brick pattern that I added. So it's just plain here. So here is the same wall pattern, same brick pattern, but with moss and erosion. More erosion, I should say. Here is the palm tree, seamless texture, material. And here's the smooth wood texture. Here is everything in Unity. So here, I've got my grass. I added some little patches here. So if we go here, it turns a little bit more into grassy dirt. I set the sun a little bit like it's going down, not too dark. If I did make it too dark, it looked really cool, but you couldn't see any of the stuff inside behind the walls. Anyway, here, this leads into this rocky ground and into the gray stone, which is what the tikis are made of. And the walls could be very well made of them too. Palm trees. And got these plants here. So the walls, I added these decals here on the ground. The ivies look really cool. Right? So let's just go in. Got the monstera. So here is one of the tikis. Inside of this wall, I made the crack go all the way through. You can't really see it there because of the sun, but rocks on the ground, leaves on the ground, ivies. Here you can see that crack. Here is stone tiki. More plants, decals, palm tree, ivy. Here is, like the broken wall. More little patches of rocks. More little plants. Here's a tiki on the ground. So I made some of these look like they were, falling over. There's a tiki on the ground. Tiki standing. This one, I think it catches the light really nicely. There's another one. It's leaves. I'm going out the door here. Here's another gate. So anyway, coming up here, all the way around. Big plants, little plants. We climb up here. So we go from our grassy to our grassy dirt. From grassy dirt. And we get up here and I put the, rocky ground pattern and some leaves, a little bit more dry. There's that statue, leaves. Right, so here, getting a better angle at this. Here is the weapon and a pile of little teeth laying next to it. Okay, so here you can see, the gray rock mountain, whatever. A little bit of terrain. And then here, if we go out this way, go out this way, we go back into our grassy dirt and up into that red rock where the redstone statue is carved from, essentially. So out here, got some more plants, some more palm trees, got some more decals, cracks, ivy, rocks on the ground, plants of different sizes. So out here, I just sampled out the textures. That's the palm tree. I sampled out, the decals on stones. And the rest of the textures on what they would look like if they were applied to something. So from here, from the outside, back to where we started, and see the stone statue up on the big hill. Yeah, right. It's not much else. Thanks for taking a look at this.